What's the dumbest way you've seen someone try to cover their tracks? I worked at a grocery store where money kept disappearing from registers. Our manager Mike blamed different cashiers every week, writing them up for till shortages. 3 people got fired in 2 months. Then I noticed something weird. The money only went missing during Mike's shifts, and only from registers he personally counted at the end of the night. When I mentioned this to my coworker Sarah, she said she'd seen Mike in the office alone after hours, but the cameras weren't working that week. What made me really suspicious was how Mike always volunteered for the late shifts when corporate auditors visited. He'd insist on personally handling all the cash counts, claiming he wanted to ensure accuracy during sensitive periods. The timing felt deliberate. I started documenting everything, which registers had shortages, which employees were blamed, and Mike's work schedule. The pattern was undeniable. Every single theft occurred on nights when Mike closed alone, always from registers in the back rows where customers couldn't see him counting. But Mike was getting bolder. He started calling emergency staff meetings about the theft problem, even bringing in a security consultant who recommended installing new cameras. The cruel irony wasn't lost on me. He was using stolen money to pay for security measures to catch the thief. The 3 fired employees were struggling. Jessica, a single mom, couldn't find another job because Mike had reported her for theft. Marcus lost his apartment and moved back with his parents. Everyone knew their stories, but nobody questioned Mike's accusation because he seemed so concerned about store security. Things got darker when Mike started targeting newer employees who were less likely to fight back. He'd schedule them alone during his shifts, then create shortages and blame them. I watched him corner 16-year-old Tyler in the break room, threatening to call his parents about stolen money unless Tyler quit voluntarily. That's when I realized Mike wasn't just stealing. He was systematically destroying people's lives to cover his tracks. Each firing created a convenient scapegoat and reinforced his reputation as the vigilant manager fighting employee theft. I needed concrete evidence. For 2 weeks, I volunteered for closing shifts, carefully observing Mike's routine. He had a precise system. He'd count registers normally when others were present, but when alone, he'd recount specific registers and pocket cash before recording false totals. The breakthrough came when I noticed Mike's personal financial changes. New clothes, expensive lunch orders, and he'd started bragging about his investment gains. For someone making $35,000 annually, his lifestyle upgrades were suspicious. During a particularly busy Saturday, Mike made a critical error. While handling a register malfunction, he accidentally dropped a roll of quarters from his pocket. When I pointed it out, he claimed he'd brought change from home for the register, but our store policy strictly prohibited personal money mixing with store funds. I also discovered Mike had been manipulating the schedule to ensure he worked alone during specific vendor deliveries. He'd claimed these deliveries required extra security oversight, but I suspected he was timing his thefts around deliveries to mask the cash flow discrepancies. The most damning evidence came from comparing Mike's theft reports with his social media posts. Every time he filed a major theft report, he'd post about unexpected expenses, car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies. The correlation was too perfect to be coincidental. When Mike started pressuring me to sign statements confirming I'd witnessed other employees acting suspiciously, I knew he was trying to recruit me as an accomplice. He offered me promotion opportunities if I'd help him catch the real thieves, essentially asking me to participate in framing innocent coworkers. Last Tuesday, Mike called in sick but forgot his keys. The store owner asked me to grab them from his car. When I opened his glove compartment, I found rolls of quarters and a notebook with dates and amounts written down, exactly matching our missing money incidents. But here's the really dumb part. Mike had written borrowed next to each entry, like that made it legal. Some entries said, "We'll pay back Tuesday," with dates from 6 months ago. I took photos and showed the owner. The owner called the police while Mike was still at home, sick. When cops arrested him, Mike actually tried to claim the notebook was him tracking employee theft, and the money was evidence. The detective just looked at him and said, "Evidence you kept in your personal car?" All 3 fired employees got their jobs back with back pay.